Hi YouTube, it's me and I'm back again. I wanted to give just a little bit of a brief history about me and how I decided, to take the Weight Watchers weight loss journey. So I'll just get into it. About 3 or 4 years ago, I stepped on a scale and let me just say, I am not one of those people that steps on a scale. I've just never been that girl. I've always even though there's always been things about myself and my body that I wanted to change, and I'm like, oh, I could look a lot better than what I'm looking, or um, I should be, a certain size or whatever the case may be. Like, I've just never been one of those people that stepped on a scale, because every time I feel like every time in my life that I've stepped on a scale, even back when I was like in fifth grade, I've just always never really felt the number was low enough. And so I just have always kind of felt, after stepping on the scale, like very discouraged and very disheartened. And I think part of that is because I've never really known what to do to change the number. And so it's like it's very difficult to take that step and actually step on that scale when you don't know how to really even solve the problem. And so I back in, like, I want to say it was either 2009 or 2010. So I would say like 3 or 4 years ago. I stepped on the scale because I was just like, I was getting ready to go to a friend's wedding and my clothes were all of a sudden a little tighter than what I remember. And so I was like, well, let me step on the scale and see how much I actually weigh. And I stepped on the scale, and at that time, I it was the biggest I had ever been in my entire life. And I stepped on the scale, and the scale said 216, and I just about fell over. For those of you who are wondering, I'm like 5'3", and so I should be well below, well below 200. I think for my height, the healthy body uh, weight range is anywhere from 120 to 140 pounds. And so for me, knowing that's around about where I should be and stepping on the scale and weighing 216, I was like floored. I was like so shocked and nervous, and I just couldn't believe it. Like, I could not tell anybody that I weighed that much. And the only person I ever told was my mom. And my mom is an amazing woman who has her own weight issues as well, but she's amazing and she's very motivating and encouraging. So I'm very lucky and very blessed in that respect. But I was just like, I'm 216. I cannot do this. That is not a good look. That's not cute. I got to change this up. And so I went to the gym in my area at the time, because at the time I was living in Ohio. And I went to the local gym, which was a bomb gym, because they had like this theater, this cardio theater, where you go in and they have treadmills and ellipticals, and they have movie, like a big screen, and movies playing. So you could, as you're on the equipment, you could just literally be watching a movie and getting your workout on and watching a movie. That was, that I cannot think of the name of the gym, but it was a bomb gym. And so I went in, I got weighed again. I talked to the guy about joining the gym. I talked to the guy about possibly getting a personal trainer and everything. And I went ahead and did the membership. And I was very diligent and very committed to, you know, taking the weight off. And so I don't even know how long it took me. It had to have taken me maybe about, I don't know, maybe like 4 months or something like that. I don't know, 3 or 4 months. And I had lost um, all of that. I think the lowest I had gotten down on my own was about 198, 199. And so I think after that, I really can't even really remember what happened. I think I just ended up working in a totally different state, and that threw me off completely because my workload intensified and things picked up a lot more. And so I was like, yay, I'm not in the 200s anymore. And for any of you who are over 200 or who have ever been in the 200 zone, you know that it feels so good to step on a scale, and then that first number is not a 2, it's a 1. It feels really, really good. And so I was excited, and I just got lazy and got lax and just stopped working out, and I was working out very hard and very intensely to take off that 16, 17 pounds that I took off. And it ended up being a situation where, I just got comfortable. And even though I was still going to the gym working out, I would skip a day or two and, no big deal. And it wasn't until this past February that I actually stepped on a scale again, because before February, what I did, I was working in a very remote part of California. I was working in the Central Valley of California. And those of you who are not from California and don't have any idea what that looks like, it's like the central part of the state is like Oklahoma or some woodsy back, I mean, not really backwoods, but it's just kind of like a very rural feeling um area. And it's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a lot of crops, horrible air quality, some of the worst air quality in the country because of the bad pesticides in the air. And I met someone in my office who was an older woman in her 40s, and she was like, on the weekends, she would go running. And so she invited me to come out running one weekend, and I was like, okay, I'll go out. She's older. It's a group. I'm thinking it was going to be a bunch of older people, and they were older people. And when I got out there, these, 50, 60-year-old people was outrunning me. Like I had zero endurance. It was terrible. And they was just running 5Ks on Saturday and Sunday like it was just a walk in the park. And I was like struggling. And so I joined the Runners Club with the hopes of taking some weight off of me. And I was very committed to it for about 3 months. But it got to be a little bit more difficult for me because I was driving from a small town to Fresno every Saturday and Sunday morning, having to get up at like 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning to drive 45 miles and then drive back just to run with this group, which, by the way, was a great, amazing group. And I took some weight off doing the running thing. How much I took off, I can't even really tell you because I was so scared to step on that scale. But basically what I'm getting at is I started in February, and the first week on Weight Watchers was very difficult for me. I'm not going to even lie to you. It was hard. And it's an eye-opening experience because until Weight Watchers, I had no idea how much how much food I was eating. And when they told me my points, because I started out with 33 points, when they told me that I had 33 points to start out with, I was like, okay, cool. But you don't really know what 33 points are, like, until you start dissecting the food. And I remember that day because I signed up that night. And I remember that day I hadn't really had much to eat. I had, because I was traveling from Texas to California that day. So that morning I had a yogurt parfait from McDonald's, and I had one sausage biscuit from McDonald's. And I had something else. I can't remember. It was just something like a little snack or whatever. But well, oh, and I had a turkey sandwich. That's what I had, a turkey avocado sandwich. So by the time I got to that night, I started like, and I learned more about the program and I signed up. I started dissecting my points. And I had pretty much ate like all of the points before dinner time. And that blew me away because I'm thinking if I have 33 points and I haven't even really eaten a full meal today, then that means that I had to be consuming 40 something points a day, which is really points that are associated with people who are much larger than me. So I was like blown away. But the first week on Weight Watchers was very, very difficult. I really didn't go out anywhere. I kind of went to work and came back and got in bed, tracked my points, and it was very difficult. I felt like my body went into shock. Um, that first week was tough. The second week was hard, but it was a little easier than the first week. You know, that first week was like brutal for me because I've never, you got to be mindful, I've never had like a major diet. So I felt like I was starving the whole week. I was in a bad mood. I was irritable. Like it was really like going through withdrawal from a drug or something. It was that bad. The third week was easier. The fourth week was easier. I mean, it gets easier. And I got to tell you, the first 10 pounds within the month that I lost has been, and I hate to even say it like this, but it was the easiest 10 pounds I have ever lost because I'm not one of those people that's afraid to work out. Even when, and that's working out has always been my solution when I feel like, oh, I put on some weight. I'm like, well, let me go work out. I never thought about the nutritional dietary aspect of it. And what I'm learning and what I've learned with Weight Watchers, it's like you have to bring the not just the working out aspect, but the bigger aspect, which is equally as important and maybe even a little bit more important, is the nutritional aspect. You have got to get the nutrition down to be successful in weight loss. And I hate to admit it, but like when I first joined Weight Watchers, I could not work out because I had thrown my back out. And so my back was thrown out for like 3 weeks because I had been at home. I was lifting my 3-year-old nephew, picking him up, and I just threw my back out. I mean, so I couldn't even work out even if I wanted to, and my back was gone for like 3 weeks straight, no joke. And so I was like, I don't think this gonna work. And then just to see the weight just still coming off with no working out. And mind you, I'd been running like 5Ks and, staying in the gym for like an hour or more, like trying to do it 4 days a week or whatever. I just, and it still came off slower than what it came off with me just focusing on the nutrition. And so here I am, I'm on week 7, and I'm just deciding that I'm a as much as I can continue to try to shock my body. And what I mean by that is they are a lot of times they say that if you continue to do the same thing, your body gets used to it. But if you change up your routine, that's when you can kind of head off a plateau or kind of prevent your body from getting too comfortable and getting stagnant with your weight loss. And so what my plan has been, like the first 4 weeks, I wasn't really working out at all outside of just the normal walking, which my job requires that I do a lot of walking. Outside of that, the first 4 weeks, I had not gone to the gym. And so what I'm aiming to do now, because I reached my 5% goal and I'm on my way to my 10% goal, which once I get to my 10% goal, I will no longer be in the 200 zone. I'll be 199.2. So what I decided that I'm going to do is exercise just 3 times a week. Just 3 times a week. And again, when I say exercise, I'm not doing this exercise real intense. It's just like about medium intensity, enough for me to break a sweat, but definitely to get my body move in and get me in the frame of, just kind of like moving around, basically more movement than what I've been doing. And that's like the second phase, and I do it 3 times a week. I'm committing myself to 3 times a week. So what I'm going to do in the next phase, like after I get to my 10% goal, my goal is to take that 3 days a week up to 4 days a week. And then eventually in that last phase, I want to do like taking from 4 days a week to 5 days a week. And that way my body doesn't get too comfortable. And if I bring it back to 3 days, or if I bring it back, once I get to 5 days, if I bring it back to 3 days or back to 4 days, my plan is to increase the level of intensity. So that's just a little bit about, how things have kind of played out. I mean, I stepped on that scale and saw 222, and that is the largest I have ever been in my entire life. And with me losing weight consistently, I have to admit, and I hate to even admit it, because the people and Weight Watchers, they're all so excited and like, oh, you lost 2 pounds, and they're so excited, and I've just kind of been like, yeah, thank you, but not really that excited, and I've just hadn't been really as excited as I want to be, because I feel like I've already been this way before. I should not even be. I feel like I'm doing double work now, because I've been 209 before. Like, I had done it on my own and gotten under 200 pounds, and here it is. I got I basically pushed the goal post back further, and now I have to go back and, not only lose the extra that I lost, but the same point that I was, 3, 4 years ago. I got to do that all over again. And so it's been kind of frustrating for me, and I feel like I couldn't really get as excited, but now I feel like I'm approaching the point where I was, and so I'm getting more and more excited, because I feel like if I would have started Weight Watchers back when I weighed 198, I would be way smaller than what I am right now. And so I just decided that each little bit of progress that I make that gets me closer to where I was, I'm just going to appreciate it and be thankful for it, and not take it for granted. And hopefully, well, not hopefully, I know me, and I know I'm going to, go beyond, well beyond where I was. And my weigh-ins are Saturdays, and so my goal and my aim is to do another video for you after this Saturday, and report to all of you um, my new weight. If I gain, I'll gain. Um, if I lose, I'll lose, and I'll be very excited. And what you should also know too, by the way, is I'm not one of those people that has a scale, because I travel a lot. When I go do my weigh-in at Weight Watchers, that is a real honest reaction, and I don't weigh myself throughout the week at all. I don't believe in weighing myself every day, as much as I hate to weigh myself. I mean, it's a big step for me to actually go and get weighed in, and I actually like that, because it's helps me to be more accountable. And so more accountable to me, because even on the days that I'm in a different location, I will find a Weight Watchers and go weigh in, even though, like, when I'm at home in Texas, I have an opportunity to actually just, instead of going to a weight loss center, because in Texas they have um, when I go do my weigh-ins, they usually have space that they're using at a church, and I don't really like that that much. I'm not fond of that, but I think for me, it would be easier for me to just pull out my scale, because my scale say the same thing their scale says, because I never really step on it. But I just said, even though it sucks to wake up at um, 8:30 on a Saturday morning. That's my routine right now, to wake up at 8:30, to get there by 9:30 to do my weigh-in. And sometimes I stay further. Well, when I'm in California, I stay at the weight loss center. I always stay for the meetings. When I'm home in Texas, I never stay for the meetings. To be perfectly honest, I just don't, because I'm not really fond of them doing it in a church. I kind of feel like the church is a sacred space, and I just don't really care for the idea of them setting up shop in a part of the church. But that's just me and my thing. But at this point, like I said, Saturday is my weigh-in, and I'll be back to report to you the progress that I have made. And if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to drop it below. And I still don't have a YouTube name to report. By the time these videos post, though, I will have a YouTube name. And, you know, I don't know what it's going to be. So I guess we'll see. And I want to do something cute, but I also want to do something fun. But I also want to do something that, you know, kind of goes with the video. So I think that's basically about it, you guys. I think over the course of this, you'll get to know me a little bit better. And um, hey, comments are appreciated. And please press the like button. That's what everybody seems to say. But really, my purpose is just to continue to motivate all of you. And in motivating all of you, I motivate myself. So you guys take care.